Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Juan. Today we're going to be looking at both Khamzat Chimaev's interview and Nate Diaz's interview. I really want to know what they have to say right before the fight. The fight's going to be happening Saturday, September 10th. It's currently the 7th, so 3 more days until the fight happens. Again, as I said in the last videos, you guys cannot miss this fight. It's going to be a great fight. Without further ado, let's get into the interviews. I'm really excited to hear what they have to say, especially Nate, because this is supposed to be his last fight. But hey, never know what's going to happen in the future in the UFC and with their careers as fighters. So very excited. Let's get into this video.
Well, because you're at a spot where you already beat the #1 guy, so you're right there for a title shot. Beating Nate Diaz, though, I know you don't care, but what do you think it's going to do?
Well, I guess yeah, because Colby Covington's away for a little bit because he's like injured or something, so he might come back later on next year. But he hasn't beat the #1 guy. The #1 guy would be either Kamaru Usman or Colby Covington. He hasn't gone against either of them. How would he do against them? Dude, that's going to be a good question to ask.
To happen after this.
You know, they pay for me and take his head.
Like a hitman almost.
Yeah.
Like a hitman.
Is that sort of how it feels coming into this fight? Like
a hitman?
Seems.
Do you think like the FBI will be like checking up on the UFC to see like, oh shit, did they actually hire this guy? Did he know that he was gonna go and kill this guy? Oh, something like that? Something. It's a deeper meaning behind the entire thing, and we just thought that it was some UFC fight because it's gonna look like a UFC fight. So it's really no way of telling.
We need the money because you need that for family, for somebody, for doing things, you know, like for good life. Everyone wanna live in good life. Nobody wanna be downstairs, you know, gonna be upstairs.
I've heard actually that Nate Diaz's fights usually get paid out a lot. That Nate Diaz, or Nate Diaz at least, he gets paid a lot, like millions per fight. So hey, if Hamza wins and he gets that cut, good for him. It's a lot of money.
What did you like most about him?
He's a tough guy. Everyone respects what tough guys, you know.
He has that gladiator mentality, dude.
It felt like everybody was on one side of that fight. Which side were you on? Were you on Connor's side or were you on Nate's side for that fight?
I was 50-50. Yeah, because I liked them both that time. So
oh yeah, because he used to be a huge UFC fan before he even got into the UFC. Yeah. It's so crazy to think that fighting for them is just a normal thing. Like, oh, they're gonna fight. But like to outsider people, like people who have never even been around the whole MMA scene or boxing or any like martial arts sports, if you don't know about fighting, you see these guys, the way they think about it, they see it as normal. Like this whole violent thing, this whole chaotic thing that they do in their daily lives is something that 98% of the people in this world will never understand. I barely understand it, but I find it so amazing.
If he can, he's gonna kill me, you know, like I want to do the same thing. And in the cage when
like imagine waking up every single day getting ready to fight somebody who's doing the same thing as you are, getting ready to kill you.
If you were in a situation and the guy's kind of stepping up to you, a lot of people say we fight on Saturday for the money. We don't fight before that.
If they want to fight before that, it's the money, brother. I'm going to fight with them. Yeah, I love the fight. It's like first thing, it's what I love.
I smash everyone, I kill everyone. Hey, we're both wearing a tank top. Well, him was like more broader. Straps, mine's like
don't care about
Winston.
His team is old, brother. My team is fresh, young, bro. Yeah.
He'll take your team over his team, that's what you're saying?
Yeah. His team always handicap, brother.
You imagine a brawl at 279? Hamza's team versus Nate Diaz's team. We see Nate get back in there out of freaking nowhere, starts fighting people too. Oh my god, that'd be crazy. Another Khabib and Conor incident happens. Hey, I just saw on TikTok that Nate Diaz and his team got in a rumble, like a huge squabble inside the octagon against another team, and it was freaking cool. Like it happened a while ago and I never knew it was happening in Nashville, but I never knew that happened, and when I saw it I was like, holy crap, it's insane. I never expected that to happen.
Nate is gonna be going like this to you, you know. Nate is going to show you I'm not from
freaking Nate, man, he's such a dog. I hope so.
I hope, you know, I don't need the guys who are scared, you know. I want to fight with the guys like me, you know, who comes to the war, you know, kill somebody. I hope he want to kill me, you know, because it will be easy to punch him. And you know, the guys come with the kids, and what was that?
Kamaru?
Gilbert come with his wife, kids, and I don't like why you take it with your kids and wife on to
Oh,
fight hotel on
with Gilbert.
I don't know.
I thought he was gonna talk about Kamaru
but,
because he brought his daughter
like,
to the last fight and she was like crying. It was a
you
huge
take them
thing.
The war, you don't take your family in the war. Diaz, I never see he comes with the girls, to the fight.
Yeah, same. Nate
I
Diaz
like-
thinks that same thing.
You don't feel sorry for that, just fight with the warrior,
I think I'm gonna make a whole different video on just that, but he did bring up a topic that is, I think, important to MMA fighters, and that's bringing your family and your loved ones to the fight. A lot of MMA fighters are like, no, don't bring them to the fight at all. Like, what? They're not supposed to be there. You don't need them to be there. Don't bring them. And then there's the other fighters like Kamaru Usman who says, no, I want them to be there so they can see that it's not all just W's. It's not all victories. I want to see them at my lowest points too. I want to see me get knocked out. I want them to see me get knocked out. So it's like, which way do you go? I guess it's a matter of personal opinion, but for the majority of the part, I've seen most fighters say, don't bring your kids to the event. They're not supposed to be there. They shouldn't be there. Blah, 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 blah. If I were a fighter, I don't think I would have my family there. Unless it was like some big thing. I don't know. That's scary because, again, nothing's for sure in MMA. Anything can happen. So you might think you're going to win the championship belt today. I'm going to do it. I have this in me. And then you go in, you bring the entire family, and then they see you get knocked out cold and then ground and pounded like 5 times. Boom, 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 while you're on the floor. Can you imagine that? What your family has to go through? Nah. I don't think I can make that happen. I think my family has to stay the fuck home.
And I said, Gilbert gonna cry after the fight. He did that. So I don't
He
need
did that.
I need the real warriors. Coach has some plan. He showed that to the fight. He do that, do this, the different techniques, and he shows. I just follow them. And it comes to the fight, you fight automatically what you did there.
So he went into the fight with no plan
camp.
against Gilbert Burns. He just wanted to fight. That's crazy.
Not happen because the last fight it wasn't my game plan. I didn't train for that. Just go and knock them out, the guys. Yeah. I trained like a lot of grappling, a lot of like grounded pounds, and a lot of good go boxing. Like.
But then you get slapped, or then he says something to you, or like, do you think that you've learned from the Gilbert fight that you will stay on a game plan, or are you
stay calm and composed throughout the entire fight, no matter what he gets? Because Nate Diaz is a huge mental fighter. Like, he'll break you before you even get into the cage, just because he just talks so much shit. He knows how to do it really well. So I feel like he will talk a lot of shit. He will be telling him off the entire time in the octagon. Either that or giving him respect. I don't think he's gonna talk so much trash. I feel like he'll say a couple of things, but not to the point where it gets to Khamzat is gonna get thrown off by it, where he's gonna get super angry. I think Khamzat's ready for anything that comes his way. It's gonna be a good fight, but Khamzat's ready.
Game plan gets thrown out.
Well,
Not to
many
diss
times
off
they
on
fight
Diaz, because
outside,
Diaz is gonna come in
all my life
prepared
I did
too.
fight out.
If you go in there and you dominate Nate Diaz,
Mm-hmm.
however that looks, like
Uh-huh.
you dominate him, take him down, you submit him, you knock him out unconscious.
Domination of Nate Diaz hasn't happened that, or happened once.
And because you know that this is the last fight on his UFC, and it's sort of that story of like the UFC wants him to lose, or any part of you feel bad if you dominate this guy in this fight?
No, so if you see
It's
paid,
me or you,
I
dog.
don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Just feels happy. Somebody the guy's up and you get paid, but I don't know. I get happy, like. I think the other guys as well get happy, when they get bonus, when they get money,
Yeah.
And
I don't think they're worrying about the
our
other guys' feelings.
yeah.
Unless
After
they
fight,
get him
I shake his
really,
hand,
really
and
bad.
Respect the guy.
He has
For the fight,
huge
man.
ears, man.
Then maybe you guys will get physical. Do you think there's a high chance of that?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll
He's
see.
playing like gangster. I don't know. He's gangster or gangsters is like.
I'll move the mouse.
If we're honest with you, like real gangsters don't playing with the punches, they kill each other. Maybe Israel Adesanya or what's the other guy named Alexander Pereira, and his name. Who wins there? Maybe fight with them. I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know.
I think
can
a
you
lot of
imagine
us will
Khamzat
probably
versus
see like
Israel Adesanya? I think if anybody could beat Israel Adesanya, it might be Khamzat Chimaev. It might be him, because I don't know. I feel like his wrestling techniques and his skill in wrestling is gonna take him so far against Israel Adesanya, to the point where he's just gonna be throwing Adesanya around the entire time, and he's not gonna be able to get out. He's gonna be dominating Adesanya if it happens. That'd be my guess for that fight. And then Adesanya's gonna keep his distance. That's if he lets him come in, because it's hard to enter into Adesanya's distance, like the right distance for you to hit him and him to actually get hit. He always keeps you at the distance. He always kicks you from super far. He hits you from super far because he's got those really, really long arms. But hey, if Khamzat were to get in a fight with Israel Adesanya, he just breaks the distance. He shoots in for a takedown. He just keeps him on the floor. And he knows that he's really, really good wrestler. He's been wrestling all his freaking life. So I feel like he could be the one to take out Israel Adesanya if there's anybody. Because Israel Adesanya's already fought against the middleweight division. If he keeps fighting the middleweight division, it's like one day one of these middleweight guys are going to take it. Like it's inevitable. It's like you fight 100 times. Out of those 100 times, how many times are you gonna lose? At least once. So if you keep fighting these same middleweight guys, you're going to lose to them at least once, unless he's that goated and never loses against them ever again. But no, these guys are like, if he fights against Robert Whittaker again, I feel like Robert may have enough to even take Adesanya out. Maybe not knock him out, but he probably will win the fight. After Adesanya's last performance, Robert looked way, way better than Adesanya. I'm talking about Adesanya versus Jared Cannonier, and then the one that just happened last week, Marvin Vettori versus Robert Whittaker. Out of those two performances, Robert was way superior. He looked elegant. He looked precise. He looked perfect, honestly, throughout the entire fight. If I were to put those two fighters together, like what I saw from this fight and what I saw from this fight, Robert would take him.
Do you kind of think in your heart that you and Kamaru Usman will never fight? Or do you think that fight will still happen?
If it will happen, it will be a big fight because everyone want to see that fight because he's like almost the same kind of like fighter like me, you know. And
I wish we can give Leon Edwards more credit as a champion. I don't know, at least for me, I can't see Leon Edwards as the champion. I don't know why. He's just maybe it's because he was losing like the majority of that fight, and he got the kick that made him champion. And that's why I haven't fully accepted the fact that he's the champion. Nothing against him, like he's the champion. It's just hard to grasp or like process the fact that he's the champion now and not Kamaru Usman. After Kamaru being champion for so long and being the pound for pound king, and then Leon Edwards coming in with that kick, everything and all changing, it's still really, really hard to process for the world. And how they just asked Khamzat right now, do you think there's going to be a possibility of you fighting with Usman in the future? Answer is hell yeah. If there's a fight against them two, it's really Khamzat fighting against the champion until Leon Edwards defends his belt and like solidifies his championship reign. But if he goes against Kamaru Usman first, I feel like that in itself might be a championship level fight, just because of Kamaru Usman. I still see Kamaru Usman as like the main champion just because he was doing so well in that fight against Leon Edwards throughout the entire like second to fifth round, and then Leon Edwards caught him with that kick in that fifth round. So I think Kamaru might be the actual title holder in a bit. He's gonna let Leon Edwards hold it for a little bit. He's gonna come back and then just take it away. He just gotta finish the fight faster. That's the only thing that I would have said different in the last fight, because he was getting Leon Edwards. Kamaru was getting Leon Edwards. It's just he couldn't finish the fight, and he wouldn't finish the fight, and he left it going for too long, and then boom, he got knocked out. That's his problem. He knew his mistake. He knows what to do. He knows what to look for. So I feel like now he's gonna come back and he's gonna mess around with Leon Edwards this time. I feel like he's just gonna come in to finish the job. But Leon Edwards, he does have that championship belt confidence for sure now that he's the champion. So I feel he's gonna come back much better than he did last time. He's like, I already beat you last time, might as well just do it again. Or I know I can do it again. It's gonna be a great fight. Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman number 3. Either that one or Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev is going to be both great fights. I'm ready for either of them.
Last thing for you, how has the fame been? How has everybody kind of known who you are now, and especially if you beat Nate Diaz and what that will do? How are you dealing with the fame? What's it
the
been
fame?
like for you?
I'm intrigued by this question. I am very intrigued, not because I want to see how Hamza's doing in like fame. It might sound like a little bit more selfish, I guess, in a way, but it's like all the things that I'm doing here on this, even on this channel, and all the things that I'm gonna do in the future on YouTube. I know that fame will come with all this in the future. Might take a while because I have to like really put in the work, exactly how he's doing in MMA and putting in that work to become the champion. I basically have to become one of the champions of YouTube. And for somebody to do that, it's very hard because there's so many great creators. Just like in the UFC, there's so many great fighters that it's hard to choose who's really on top. That's why they have to say like, oh, these are the top dogs and not just the top dog, because you can never tell who it is. It used to be Kamaru Usman, I guess, but even so, like even on the pound for pound list, you can see one or two that you may think is better than the other. Like Charles Oliveira, I think is one of the best ones. When it comes against Alexander Volkanovski, I don't know who's gonna take that fight. If it was Alexander Volkanovski versus Kamaru Usman, I feel like Volk can probably even take that one. But against Charles Oliveira, just because of how slick and slippery and sneaky Charles Oliveira is, it's gonna be really hard to tell that fight. But just like how he said about the fame coming to him, being at that top level, on top of the world, and all that fame coming to you, I wonder what he's gonna say, how he's reacting, how he's feeling. Just so I guess for me, it gives me like a idea of what it's like to get all that fame after such a short period of time, or in general.
It's a bit crazy.
It's crazy.
People are going crazy, you know. It's fun, just have fun, you know. Like sometimes it's hard when just to wake up and go and take the coffee like normal people, you know, do it. Like, and there's somebody screaming, yeah, smash everybody, kill everybody. Hey, brother, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, get ready to my training, you know.
Can you imagine?
Just have fun. Yeah, just accept that, you know.
Yeah.
He's just going out for coffee at 7 in the morning. He's just like fucking tired as hell, getting ready because he has to go into freaking training. Has to go fight somebody really quick. He's just with this little coffee in his hand. He just hears from the corner of the room, I kill everyone. Ah! He's like, oh, here we go. Hey, brother.
The people love me, I love them back, you know.
Like when you look at Conor McGregor though, like he can't even go out without security. Like, or do you look at that?
That's a whole new level of fame. I don't know. When it comes to fame, I don't know if I would want all that. I would want it to be to the point where a lot of people know me, but they respect me as a person as well, not just as a huge celebrity. Because I don't know. I've never thought about myself as like the main character of the movie. I've always thought about myself as the support character that is kind of better than the main character, if I would say. It's like there's always that side character that you like way more than the main character, just because he's just that badass. I feel like I could be that character. I never look to be the main character, but I will make sure that the main character does his best to make this story flow, to make him look better, to make us look better as a team. It's like I'm Gohan in the what's it called, Tournament of Power. You know, is it the Tournament of Power? Yeah, he's like the leader of the thing. I'm like Gohan in that. I just want everybody to do their thing, but I'm not like the boss. That's what I'm trying to say. But when it comes to time, when the time comes to being the boss, you have to know how to be the boss. I feel like I'm ready for that too.
My life, like,
no, that securities, bro. I can handle everything, you know. Don't need the securities. Don't need that, like, a lot of Ferraris and these big houses.
Yeah, like all that stuff. I don't think I need.
Like, have some food from family and
hell yeah,
houses for them.
Hell yeah,
and be happy. Train
exactly.
The guys, do something fun.
And that's also one of the things that I've heard like a lot of my tías say, where it's like, oh, el dinero es bien malo. El dinero es del diablo. You're like, that's why we're all fucking poor, because you guys all hate money. But it's like, you can't do anything without money. You definitely need it. And maybe not like to, how he said, go buy freaking Lamborghinis and 30 mansions. But money's always really nice to have, especially when you can give it to the other people around you.
Well, it's fun watching you fight, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing you fight Nate Diaz this weekend. Thank you for
I am looking forward to it too. Good interview. Good. Oh, there's a Nate Diaz one too. I guess we'll watch that one right now once I come back. I have to go pick up my sister. But there's going to be a 2-part series. It's going to be Khamzat Chimaev, his interview, and then it's going to be Nate Diaz's interview. That was a good interview. I really like the way Khamzat's thinking about his future and what like is going to happen in the future for him. he's looking like he's both taking a step forward, but also taking a step back. He's taking a step forward in his career, but he's taking a step back to like really capture everything that's going on in the moment, which I respect that a lot. I like that he's actually looking back at what he's been doing and what's going on. He's present in the moment of what's going on. He's living in the moment and he's processing everything that's happening day by day. I think he's got his mentality on check. He's going down the right path. And we've seen a lot of UFC fighters, everything gets to their head and then they just go and lose it all because they can't really focus. But he seems fine. He seems really good. Now let's move on to Nate Diaz's fight, or Nate Diaz's interview. Let's see what he has to say.